Tuesday, October 2nd, still within the week of our 11th anniversary of broadcasting and 6th anniversary of broadcasting live. And we are welcoming Abigail Wilds, poet, photographer, artist, creative soul. So, welcome to the tavern.
Hi, thanks.
My pleasure. Now, I know we met, geez, what? It was shortly after, I guess, the show started as Sounds of Steam 6 years ago.
Yeah.
So, and
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
it is, and look how much your life has changed. I mean,
Yeah.
I think you were dating your husband at the time when we met, and now you're married and a
Oh my
family and
God.
moved twice, three
Yeah.
times. Um,
Oh, a bunch. Yeah. We met in Savannah and got married in Savannah, and we moved to Florida
hmm
and hated it, and it was
Me too.
awful. And then and then we tried New York for about 2 months, and it
What
was
part of New
freezing
York?
cold, and we hated it. A little town called Greenwood Lake. It's
Northern,
upstate.
southern, upstate. Thank you. That's what I was.
Yeah, it's like Manhattan's here, and then you drive this way.
Oh,
So it's like on the border of New Jersey and New York.
okay, okay.
Actually,
So,
like half of the lake is in New Jersey and half of the lake is in New York. But
gotcha. Yeah, I know the Buffalo area and then the New York City areas, the two areas I'm somewhat
yeah,
familiar with. By the way, I love the makeup. You look great.
thank you.
Tell me about the line. What's up with that?
I have a girlfriend who has this tattooed, and I freaking love it.
Okay,
I don't love it enough to get it tattooed myself, I think,
sure.
but I just love it, and so I don't know, do it occasionally.
By the way, Car just popped in. Good morning, sir. How are you? I heard that you have a nickname, Car, and I'm wondering, is it okay if I also call you Sarge? I was talking to Talking Toey about you, and it's because I see we have that in common there. Let me know. In case you're not watching Twitch, Abigail, we'll have people commenting, asking questions, etc. So
Oh, cool.
I'll interrupt us once in a while and jump over to what they're saying, and they're pretty patient though. And if we get trolls, we have fun with trolls, whether they're morons or clever. More fun if they're clever. If they're morons,
Always
we
more fun if people are clever.
I tend to think so. It's I've gotten regular viewers from clever trolls who come in on a
Oh,
regular basis. Well, they're fun and they're clever and they're out for a good laugh. If teasing me is what that takes, bring it. Come on, that's worth it.
right.
It's
It's also something to do.
It is, and it's good conversation. And then you have the other people that just come in and just say horrible things and leave before you can even reply, and that's kind of
Oh,
a bummer. I know. Like you couldn't even
I
stay.
just don't see why people waste their time. Like, don't you have like hobbies or some? I guess maybe that is their hobby. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah,
But don't you have something better to do with your time? Because,
absolutely. And that's what I kind of went into with the last set as I was started to tease them and go, "Oh, how sad your life must be that your hobby is finding somebody else's stream." And then I started going, no, wait, I'm right. It really is. That this is how
yeah.
miserable their life is, that this is fun for them to verbally
Oh,
attack people. And then I became a little more gentle with them because I realized how broken they must be inside or terrified or whatever they're feeling.
yeah.
Huh. Yeah, no, I'm probably right on that one. Yeah, I'm seeing my connection here fluctuate, so bear with me if I have connection
Okay.
issues. It's living amongst the cows, does it to me. So I'm now I can't see all the titles of the books behind you. I'm looking here, but
Wonder. Let's see if I can like tilt the camera up for a second so you can see the. Up here we have
nice,
like the leather-bound collection
nice. So
that Barnes and Noble.
what do you have there? I see a little Stephen King because his name is huge, bigger than the book
Oh
title.
yeah,
But what else? What
yeah.
kind of
Half the
stuff do you
shelf.
have?
Half the shelf here is Stephen King, and then there's a bunch of James Patterson, which is my husband's very, very favorite. And then we have like all the old books, collectors books that we have that are. We don't have any like super special first edition or anything like that because we just can't afford that kind of stuff. But we really try to get the leather bounds, and I think my oldest book is like printed in 1886.
See, that's pretty
I think
good.
it's my oldest book.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's
It
not bad.
I have
And then we have
mhm,
Crichton, of course.
Crichton. Well,
You know,
I'm not a
classics.
fan of what Patterson writes, but I love his writing, and I will read what he writes because he writes
Yeah,
very smooth.
He's really brilliant. It's really
What's his name that does
brilliant
all the
stuff.
legal dramas is the same way.
Um, I know what you're talking about.
I do too. I just can't think of his name. But yeah, I'll pick up his books. And by the way,
I have
Sarge
some of
says
his
that's
just
their
not
way to
here.
cope with their pain. Absolutely, man, or make themselves feel better or worthwhile. So
Hmm.
by the way, Sarge, if you're ever hanging out, Sarge just joined us last night and he pops in again today. So he's the kind of person that will become a regular. Sarge,
Oh,
if you
cool.
ever are hanging out and we get a troll, yeah, feel free to play along. Don't worry about attacking them unless if you're just in that kind of mood. And then, sometimes we need to release our frustration also. So, okay, so,
Oh, I see a little cat paw
oh yeah,
coming down
I
here.
have,
Oh,
I have Squirrel is here, Zazzles is here, and by the way, the camera you're seeing me on is different from the audience. No, it wasn't Tom Clancy.
oh,
See, Sarge is trying to help out with the author. They made movies, tons of
yeah.
movies. What's his face? All right, all right, all
Are
right.
John? Are you talking about the guy who wrote like The Client and
Yes.
oh, I have The
And now
Client
that
like
you have the
right here.
name,
Where is it?
if not, I have Google over here.
I just found a Tom Clancy. That's funny. Um. All right. Well, anyway, it's around here somewhere.
Um,
It'll come to us.
I've got it right. I've got the Wikipedia right here, but I was hoping to not have to click on anything. John Grisham.
Oh, right.
Yeah, John Grisham.
Yes. Yes.
It,
I don't know why. I can never ever remember his name.
it's
I just always go, the author of The Client, and everybody's like, oh,
right.
okay.
And I love his writing. I don't care for the topic, but if you have a
Hmm.
good author, you can read almost anything. Um,
Yeah, it's true.
so it's
I'm a little over like detectives being main characters and you're following the case, and I'm kind of like, okay, I need a little bit less of that.
the cozy fireside mystery became a big genre to play. And there you go. Sarge just shouted out John Grisham there, so it's just after. Well, you were typing it as we were saying it. We got it at the same time. I just talk faster than you type too, Sarge. Um,
Oh, I can see it now. Okay, cool.
oh yeah, you pulled up Twitch. Yeah. So if
Yes.
you see something and you want to interrupt us, feel free to do so. I definitely try to include the audience in this, and we should have Bob and a few others popping in soon. Maybe talking Toei. Let me see who we do have.
I'll post it. I should post that on my Facebook or something.
I try not to call folks out because a lot of them are at work listening in, kind of like a talk
Hmm.
radio type thing. So,
Yeah, that's true.
on the other hand, some of them I just always call that person out because I appreciate them showing up and they've been around long enough for me to make sure I give them a hello in case they're listening at that moment. But yeah, I have
That's
8 cats,
awesome.
so you might see cats passing. I know it was an accident.
Oh
It slipped.
my God. I've kind of had that happen before where I adopted one and then a roommate left one and then an ex-girlfriend left one and then there was like I broke up with a boyfriend at the time and somebody posted online that a kitten had been abandoned or their mother had been killed. And so I adopted and hand raised this little kitten. So I had four. And then I moved in with another friend who had two or three of her own. We ended up, yeah, with seven cats in one little itty bitty house. And it was just like, no,
Good
this
times.
is not working.
Well, I am in
This is not
a
okay.
5 bedroom, and I
Ooh,
mean we have enough room.
comfy.
Yeah, it is. It's matter of fact, looking at your books, I was gonna yesterday I moved. I'm realizing there's more to this story, but the point of what I'm saying now is I moved my library to my bedroom because I had a room that was just a library. But Andrea, my other half, has a 17 plus year old cat who didn't get along well with the others. And she was the last to come into the house with all the other cats. So eventually we
Hmm.
just put her in her own room. She's really happy there because she was indoor
Oh,
outdoor before, and we won't let her out now because
yeah.
coyotes.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
Sarge, by the way, Sarge said hi to you. And he also says we have three, two males, one female, hates both of them. They're always fighting. Yeah, our females don't play
Oh,
well with the males because the males play and the
huh.
females don't. Um, but yeah, it came down to I lost my last cat 2, 3 years ago, and I went, let me see what it's like not to have one. No sweeping of hair, no cat boxes. I didn't make it two
Yeah.
months before I was at the pound adopting two. And that was the
Oh.
thought. Give me two so they can have somebody to hang out with when I go away. We're good. Then a coworker went, well, I'm pregnant. I can't change a cat box and my husband won't do it. Do you want my cat? So that was number three. Um,
Mm-hmm.
then where I was working, the woman who runs the shelter came in and went, we have kittens. I went, kittens always get adopted. She went, well, every cage is full with multiple kittens and we have a waiting list. And in our area, you know what people do if they can't get rid of the cats? I'm like,
Yeah.
fine. I read between the lines. And I went and I'll get one. I'll bring my girlfriend. We'll get one, unless there's two in one cage that's bonded.
Yeah.
So we left with three that were in the same cage. We were up to six. And then about this time last summer, I'm in here writing at 9 o'clock at night, and I hear a cat meow outside my window, and I leap up and tell Andrea, do a cat count, and I run outside, and she comes to the door going, I've got 'em all, and I had a little kitten in my hand,
Oh.
who is now a year old and finally calming down a little. And then her cat, who was with her son, came back to us, and now we have eight.
Oh.
So, but we
Well,
have
I have two kids, and that's enough. I'm good. We
right.
don't need anything else.
No, 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 no. I have one, and he is 15 and a half, and um,
Ooh.
I don't miss any previous age. Now, how old are yours now, real quick?
My kids,
Hmm.
my little boy is 4. He'll be 5 in November,
Hmm.
and my little girl is 18 months.
Okay. So a lot of people are like, oh, I miss that age. I don't miss any age because I'm enjoying the hell out of this age.
Yeah.
Now, as it hit the teens and he starts to draw away, that's been the worst part of the parenting experience where he's like, you know what, I really don't want to
Aw.
hang out with you. I want to go do other things.
Oh.
He's not a jerk about it. He
Yeah.
feels bad telling
It's
me, and
just normal.
it is. It's perfectly natural. Um,
Yeah.
but it's still an adjustment as somebody who just loves being around their kid. Up here comes a kitty
Yeah.
wandering through.
Yeah, my kids are awesome, but oh my God, it is so much work. It's so exhausting.
Here's a.
I was up for 3 hours in the middle of the night with the baby. Not last night, but the night before.
She okay?
3 hours. She's cracking another molar.
Gotcha, gotcha.
So that's and it's so hard because you want them to sleep so much and you're so exhausted, but like you also know that they're in so much pain and like you're like, okay, I can do this. It's all right.
Chew on my
I'll be
finger till you hurt me.
there. Yeah.
It's a massage to
She's a
come.
hell of a biter.
Is she?
Oh my goodness. Both my kids are terrible, terrible biters. With Grayson, I used to have just bruises all up and down my arms. We learned to like dodge him all the time. Like as soon as his mouth opened, we were like, "Whoa!"
You got
All
that
over
stick
because
with the little collar where you can catch them and move them away from you.
we tried a spray bottle for a second, but
Yeah,
it doesn't work as well with the babies as it does
till he
the
starts
cats.
giggling and running at you.
Yeah, yeah. Thinks it's hilarious.
I should send Andrea a message so she can see your makeup. Andrea, you out there? She didn't get ready or anything, so she won't appear on camera, but she'll.
Hiding.
I keep the
I get
camera.
that.
Yeah. Well, she's fresh out of bed type look as
Oh,
opposed to, oh, I'm not made up. She doesn't mind that. Um, but yeah, she's like the fresh out of bed and what's Sarge say? Looks just like our cat. Have a orange striped, black and white Sylvester cat, and one marble color. That sounds like a pretty one. Mhm.
beautiful.
It's yeah, this one here is she's neurotic and gets terrified easily. And by that I just mean a change of a day. One day she's fine, the next day she won't come out from behind the couch for whatever
Hmm.
reason. She's got issues, but she's bonded to me and I
That's what my
can.
husband says about me. He's like, "You're totally unpredictable. It gets a little exhausting. I never know what to expect." And I'm like, I think that that should be fun. Like coming home and every day is a little different, but
But when you won't
apparently
come
he's a
out
little
from
tired.
behind the couch, Abigail,
Wow.
which,
I wish I had those days. I would
mm,
love to just. Have you heard about this coffin challenge that Six Flags is doing?
no,
Oh my God, you haven't heard of it?
no, what's
Okay,
going on?
so Six Flags in like Iowa or something
Uh-huh.
is doing this coffin challenge where you have to spend 30 hours inside of a coffin. You get a pee break and a snack break every hour,
Oh, okay.
which I think is totally pussy. And you can have your phone. And I'm like, seriously, like how is this a challenge? Like this sounds like an absolute vacation to me. For
Yeah,
30 hours, I could just lay somewhere and like sleep and rest and not feed anybody or change anybody or put
yeah.
anybody to sleep. Like that'd be fabulous. So it sounds like the most amazing thing
You
to
know,
me.
instead of the phone, I think I would say, hey, can I just bring something without internet access? Can I just bring my Kindle Paperwhite?
Oh yeah.
So I've got sleeping, I've got reading, and hourly snack and pee breaks. This
Yeah.
is
And they're giving like challenge winners $300, gold season passes. You get to keep the coffin, which I would do it just for that.
oh yeah.
And
S-
like some other prizes. Like that's amazing. And I'm like, dude, this like
oh,
I think they shouldn't have let people take their phones.
no, I don't
If you want to
either.
make it a challenge,
But
like don't let people take their phones. Like the boredom is what most will crack most people because we're so, connected.
with 30 hours, I could sleep 16 to 20 of those.
Oh yeah,
If
me
I
too.
yeah, if I go
Catch
in
up from
tired,
like 6 years of never
right,
sleeping.
right. You go in tired, you lay down, then you're up for 2, 3 hours reading, doze right back off.
Yeah,
Uh,
it sounds fabulous.
by the way, I'm not advocating divorce here, but one thing as a parent, when I divorced Aiden's mother, it is really nice to have joint custody in the sense that A, you appreciate it when you have your kid more.
Yeah,
And B, you do get a break.
you also get a break.
Right, you can go away for the weekend without worrying or
Yeah.
um, and this is something that our culture, our Western culture, has lost because we used to have extended family. So you could give
Yes.
your kid to your parents or your sister
Yes.
or whoever. And now, not so much.
Yeah. I have so much to say about like our culture and how we used to be like human beings are meant to live in a tribe
They are.
of many generations. We're not meant to have separated into these generational groups. And that's why people are having so much trouble. Like we're so lost and we feel so like nobody knows how to do anything and all this like, oh, I'm adulting today. And it's like,
Right.
well,
See, and isn't
number
it
one, we should have
funny
left it.
that that whole scenario was caused by us living in larger groups?
Mm-hmm.
By coming together,
Yep.
we separated because we're
Yep.
just so overwhelmed by all the input, we're breaking away from those closest to us because that's who we
Yeah.
lash out at.
Yeah, it's true. Well, in the human mind, like anthropologists say that you can only know 100 people. Like
Hmm.
you can know
I know what you mean.
thousands of people on your Facebook or whatever, but you can only intimately, personally know up to 100 people. Like our brains cannot process names and important details about more than 100 people, which honestly is a lot when you
It
think
is.
about actually knowing something about them
Right.
on a personal level. Like that's a ton of people.
It always impresses me when I meet somebody of note or fame and they remember whether it's me or somebody else from a previous encounter. Like you must meet thousands of people and for you to go, weren't you at BobCon or wherever where I was 3 years ago? And I'm like, really? You got that one? You are incredible. You're better than me because I'm
That
like
that
10
is
minutes ago.
incredible.
Yeah.
I have such trouble just remembering names. Like I meet people and I love them and I'm just like we just had a our first Pagan Alliance
Hmm.
local class
Right.
that I organized with somebody else and like these people show up and like 10 minutes later I'm like your name again. Like I
I
totally adore you. Sweetest girl I've ever met and I can't remember your name and it's awful. I hate that. I'm trying to work on that.
real quick, I want to drop some hello. Is it lunchtime for you, buddy? What are you having today? More ham and cheese? And also, let me see if I could. It looks like a Leah comic. possibly one of your friends there, Abigail, that
Oh,
you pulled in from Facebook because it's a new follower for the channel.
oh,
Welcome to the
cool.
tavern. We're here with Abigail Wilds, which we're gonna get to poetry and her book in a little bit, but we just got
Awesome.
to chatting about the psychology of the human society as we have it
And
nowadays.
cats.
And cats. Yes, and Dropsum does have ham and cheese today. It's God, I love a good ham and cheese sandwich. I prefer smoked over like the sweet hams, but with the right
Ooh.
mustard and a good bread. Oh,
Mm,
okay.
and grill it. That sounds delicious.
Oh yeah, grilled even better. And now, Aaliyah, am I saying that name correctly? Let me know if I'm not. She, and I'm presuming your gender, correct me if I'm wrong, says, hi, just encountered this stream. Very interesting so far.
Ooh,
Thank you.
nice.
This is what we do. It's all conversation, whether I'm talking to myself and you, or whether I have 4 or 5 other people on like last night. So,
Ooh,
absolutely.
wow. That sounds like a party.
That is Monday nights. I get my regular crew in here and we have a topic that have conversation around it, and every once in a while go visit the actual topic we're supposed to talk about. And it's
Oh my God, how fun.
a lot of adult language and adult humor and really a good
I
time.
was gonna actually
Mhm.
ask how you felt about swearing,
Oh,
because
feel
yeah.
free. We're an adult show. I put
Oh,
disclaimers
good.
up before people can like view us, before people can
Mhm.
chat. On the screen, there is rotating logos, including right there is the disclaimer showing up right now. And Aaliyah, I don't know if you're familiar with Dune books by Frank Herbert, named after the character Aaliyah, and yes,
Oh,
I'm female. Yep, I'm familiar
yes,
with
I
them.
have read the Dune books. I mean, it was forever ago,
In my
but
teens for me, so 30 plus
yeah.
years. Yeah, it's
Well, I wasn't quite a teen. I was probably a young adult, but yeah.
mhm. But good, glad I
There's
got it right. And if ever I do get something wrong, let me know. I will not be offended by being corrected. It's I guess we segue out of what we're going on about. So let's talk about your book real quick. Now, book or books? Because you already have one out, coming out with another.
no, no, no. It's not out yet.
Okay.
So I have one done,
Hmm.
and so I started writing poetry forever ago, which you know.
Right.
Um, and then I didn't really go anywhere with it. Like I have a poem published when I was like in college, maybe high school.
Hmm.
Um, and then I kind of dropped it from there. I loved poetry. I loved writing it, and I was like, hey, this is really cool. But I didn't really take it any further, and I didn't write much. I mean, poetry is really, really hard to publish. It's really hard to sell.
Hmm.
So I was kind of like, I'm probably never gonna really go anywhere with this. But then when I kind of circled through my styles and went back to goth and got kind of back in, I started writing this poetry that started coming out really funny. And it was just this dark humor. And I was like, I don't know where this is coming from, but I love it. This is hilarious. And I just kind of went with it. And when I started the project, I had this like absolute waterfall of creativity. And I
Nice.
was writing constantly, just like every day, just every night I'd have a notebook next to me and just ideas would just flow. And I just had tons and tons and tons of creativity in this. And I was like, this is fabulous. Like, and I was not only starting poems, but also finishing them, which
That's
is
good.
a totally different thing.
It
Starting a
is
poem is one thing, finishing and editing a poem is
very
totally a
different.
different thing. Yeah. So I had this whole waterfall and I was like, I'm going to ride this until it dries up because, creativity throughout your life is kind of an ebb and flow. Like
It is.
sometimes you're really creative and you do all this amazing stuff. And then sometimes you're just kind of dry and you're like, nothing's happening, nothing's coming. Maybe I need to change, start painting or start, I don't know, fooling around with something else just to kind
Right.
of get my juices going again. Um, so I wrote that for a while and I created like half of a book just in that like 3 to 6 months. And then I got pregnant, and somewhere in my pregnancy, about 5 months, I went to like a writing retreat and I met mentors, and I was meeting a couple other mentors like Dame Darcy and stuff, and asking them to advise me and whatnot. Because I feel like mentors are really, really important when
Definitely.
you figure out what you want to do. They can really be helpful. Again, kind of going back to like the culture of the tribe, kind of
Yeah.
a of a thing. Yeah.
With
Anyway.
mentors, I found mentors don't necessarily have to be vastly more experienced than you are either. Sometimes your peer is your best mentor as a little more experience
Yeah.
because they're where you're at for the most part. So you can support each other as you go through your journey or climb your ladder or what have you. So,
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely. And just giving you a different perspective on things.
right.
And it's always better to, if you have that kind of relationship, to really be honest and find a
Mhm.
place where you can say, "Hey, dude, this sucks. Throw it out. Start
Yeah,
again, whatever."
it's
And I feel like
it
it's been
takes
hard.
it, it's
Go
it
ahead.
it's a journey to get to the point where you can hear that from somebody.
Yes.
And
Yes.
there's been some times where I get a book back from an editor or whatever they're working on, and it's all marked up. And I'll look at it and I'll
And
feel
you're
that
like, "Oh."
surge of, fuck you. Uh,
Yeah.
but I'll look it over, put it away the next morning, come back to it, look at it again. Now that I had a chance to be pouty and whiny about it, look at it
Hmm.
again and go, thank God they tore it all to hell because man, it
Yes.
did need work and I couldn't see it. And then send them a thank you
Yes.
letter, and let them
Oh,
know,
absolutely. That is
you know,
fantastic.
you hurt my feelings, and that's what I want. I want to see so many corrections that I'm upset that
Yes.
there's that much red on the page, and it's healthy if you can take it. If you can't, and I'll ask people, and they're like, "Will you read this?" I'm like, "What do you want to hear from me? How honest do you want this? What are we doing?"
It is a journey, and it has been. I mean, when I set out, when I again was to had that waterfall of creativity, and I was like,
Hmm.
I actually do want to create a book with this. There was a definite time where I had to get over that, and I had to be like, I need to make myself take criticism.
Right.
And lucky for me, my husband is just amazing, and he knows my mind, and he has honestly a way bigger vocabulary than I do. So he'll be like, I see what you're saying here, but this word is actually, I think, the word you're looking for. And I'm like, oh my God, that's perfect. I love it. And because he has a photographic memory. I do
Nice.
not.
Lucky fella.
So yeah, not me. But but he edits most of my work, and I feel really lucky to have that because usually you have to pay for it, and
Right.
should pay for it, honestly,
Absolutely.
if you want to be professional. But yeah, I came to this point where I'm like, if I actually want to do this and get actually published someday, I can't be hurt by every single little thing that
Right.
he doesn't think is right or wants to change, or even when he is like, this whole thing is crap and needs to be thrown out. And sometimes that happens, and I'm like, oh, I worked for months on that, but and
Well,
then I'll get all offended, and then the next day, you're right, I come back and I'm like, oh God, thank you, you
yeah.
totally saved me
Tell me
from.
more. I want to hear. I have friends who they'll read the reviews on Amazon or wherever, and they'll get upset. I'm like,
Mhm.
there's no such thing as a bad review. Even if it's a 1 star that tears the crap out of your book. I have a few 1 stars, but one of them, I love this 1 star review. It says poorly written, and it has no capitalization, no punctuation, and
Ah.
nothing else to it. I have another 1 star review that says, downloaded this book by accident. Steampunk shouldn't even have its own genre. And I'm like, this is a great
Oh.
1 star review.
Yeah.
It's because the person's an idiot. And if that's
Yeah.
my worst negative review is somebody going, I didn't know what I was doing, thus I'm giving it 1 star. But even when that goes into it going, oh, there was editing issues or this person didn't follow through with a story arc,
Mm,
these are valid in you can improve your book or realize some people are
exactly,
too
makes you
stupid to
better.
catch subtlety.
Yeah.
And this is why your simple word sometimes might be better than the other word. But sometimes you do want the other word too. So
Yeah.
it's
I always, whenever I see a book on Amazon and it has all 5 stars, I'm just like, well, that's all your friends.
well, that's some,
Because it's you don't get the honesty until you get out there and people do hate your work.
right.
Like, you're never ever going to please everybody, and people are always far more negative than they are positive.
Hmm.
So, and that's on anything, that's on a product or something creative. People are, or bad experience at a restaurant.
Right.
You have to take bad reviews like with a grain of salt. But if there's no diversity to the reviews, if everything is 5 star, this is the best thing ever, it's like, mm,
See, I'm worried about that with mine, where the vast majority are positive reviews, and I'm like, I need somebody to throw some 3 stars or 2 stars in there, so they don't think, how many times can your mom create an account? Um,
right,
by the way,
right,
Aaliyah
yes.
comments here, I find that writing, especially on a level of professionalism and having a thick skin, go very well together. I've learned to take things to heart when I get a critique so that I can grow as a person and as a writer. I think if writers go on and dismiss things through their ego, they'll have a harder time growing and improving. And absolutely,
Absolutely.
it's now,
But it's a hard thing. It's really hard to take those criticisms and like I had a chick who said that I stole some of her poetry and it bugged me forever and it like affects me through the day and I just have
right,
to remind myself, push that aside. It's not your truth. So
right.
push it aside, try to ignore it,
But
move on.
the other thing about people when they criticize your work in a negative way is you have to take it for what it's worth. If it's one person doing this, then it's one person's opinion. But if it's the
Yeah.
fifth person that has said the same thing about your work, maybe start looking at that and seeing what they're talking about and grow a little.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, in everything is an opportunity to grow. Every single book you read, every movie you watch, every input you take in is an opportunity for you to grow bigger and make yourself bigger. The reactions that you have, I mean, I know it's hard. I like, you know, I have 2 kids, so my
Hmm.
husband and I argue a lot about who does the dishes and who bathed the kid last. And you can get really hurt and offended and just be like, well, I do so much work and I think that if you could just step back and take a
Yes.
moment, whether it's personal or
Or
with a
professional,
career,
yeah.
just step back for a second and be like, okay, this isn't about me, this is about you, but what can I take from this? How can I grow? So that's
If
good stuff.
everybody could learn perspective, oh my goodness, how communication would grow amongst our species.
It's true.
And it's hard, especially in the
It is
close
hard.
relationships, especially in
Hmm.
those. You're like, well, why would they do this to me? Honestly, they probably didn't do it to you. They did
Yeah.
something for themselves, and you weren't even in their head. Not because they don't
Yeah.
love you, just because that's what we do as a creature.
Hmm.
That's how we function is it's all about us individually in our head. Um, we might,
Our poor little id.
yeah, yeah, we might think we're doing it for other people, but I've often point out when I do nice things for others, it's actually me being selfish because I want to feel good for doing something or helping somebody,
Hmm.
and I recognize this, and but I still find myself where I'm like, "Ah, why did she do that? Why did
Of
she do
course.
that to me?" And I'm like, oh, you know what? It's not about me. She's got something going on, and she's got blinders of life, and I do
Yeah.
too, because that's why I got upset. Because if you think about it, you're never going to be like, when I get home, I think I'm going to piss off my other half by,
Just for
so many
fun. Just
options.
right.
Yeah, it's, you don't. Well, and if you do, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Right.
You
Well,
should
and there are people who like thrive on contention and just need to create contention where it isn't.
called
But
psychopaths and sociopaths
yes,
or
yes.
politicians. I don't know,
Those are the people that we just need to cut out of our lives.
which I have
That's
quite a bit.
why I don't live close to my family.
Same here. I only speak to one person in my family on a regular basis. That's my brother. And the
Yeah.
rest, I won't be attending any funerals or weddings. Let's just go there. You know, I'll be notified of one or the other sometimes, but usually not weddings.
It's nice. You're like, okay. I
It,
still show up to most of the things.
I don't.
We have a polite, I have a polite relationship with most of my family.
They do not approve of my lifestyle in the sense of they are, and by the way, for anybody viewing or listening, there's no reflection on anybody's religious choices or faith. but I am not Christian enough for them, and that's
Yeah.
very damning to me. Um,
I don't think there's anything in the world I could do to be Christian enough for my dad and Mormon enough for my mother. Like it just my sister is she like left the Mormon church when she went to college, and then she came back to it. And so she's Mormon, she's raising her kids Mormon, and still my mother always has something to pick on her, something to say, something that she's doing wrong, that she's going to um the Mormon version of hell for. And I'm just
right,
like, I'm so glad I don't get that anymore because I left a long time ago.
right.
And so
Never
she's
went
kind of
back.
like, as long as you're not sacrificing babies, we're happy. And I'm like, okay. And I married a guy,
Well,
which also really helped my family relationships. I married a guy and I had babies. And so they're kind of like,
well, she's normal-ish.
we
We'll
won't
go with
say
that.
as much. Yeah. We want a relationship with those children, so we won't say as much. And I'm like,
There's
okay,
that. Yeah, it's
it
a
works.
just don't hold them hostage, but on the other hand, don't
Oh no.
let your family hold them hostage also against you. You know,
Yeah.
oh, we're not going to
We
give
have
them stuff. Or,
we actually have a very healthy relationship around the children. And there are certain things like my sister sends her kids off to be at grandma's for like 2 weeks during the summer. And I'm like, I don't know if I'll ever do that. And we have certain rules like, you can't really include our kids in scripture study unless they want to. If they want to, that's fine.
it's
But you
reasonable.
cannot force them. It's not going to happen with my family.
You know, it's funny. Uh, our Jewish friends or our Catholic friends always talk about the guilt that goes with usually their mother. And they
Oh,
put
yeah.
the religious guilt, the Jewish guilt, or the Catholic guilt. And the bottom line is, just like people who claim, oh, I'm German, we're all drunks, or I'm Irish, we're all drunks, or I'm Native American and we're all drunks. I think the bottom line is every culture are drunkards and every culture has guilt from their mother, which they tend to pin on religion. If they don't have religion, then they'll just blame it on their mother.
Something else,
So
right?
once again, we have
Yeah.
this in common. It shouldn't divide us, it should bring us together with.
Mm,
So are you going to be that mom with the guilt?
I hope not. I try to use logic.
Not on
I try to
purpose, right?
use, try to show. I mean, my kid's only 4 and 1, so we're still not entirely there, but we try to use logic. My kid is he's real clever, and if
Hmm.
you talk to him, say, you chose to throw a tantrum and go into your room and rip up your coloring book. Now you don't have a coloring book and you have to clean it up all by yourself. And he's like, but I need help cleaning up. And I'm like, no, this was your choice. You made this choice. You've got to clean it up on your own. And you can't do anything fun until that happens. It's just it's not me being mean. I'm not picking on you. Like, you made that choice. You have to fix your mistake.
He may be
And I think
clever
that
at 4, but at 14, he'll be a moron.
that
Hormones.
just happens to
Yeah.
all of them.
And usually it goes away by, I don't know, 60 or 70. Um, Aaliyah says, I like how you mentioned all drunks and your cat goes flying across the background. Yeah, we'll get the cat
Cats
back.
are loons.
They are there. I freaking adore them. It's little bastards. It's, oh, there's Andrea popped in. Andrea, check out Abigail's makeup. Abigail, if you want to lean, do you go by Abby or all Abigail?
Abby, I actually hate nicknames.
Okay, that's cool.
I
That's why I
really do.
asked.
My dad, my dad still to this day calls me Abby, and I just can't stand it. And I'm like, Dad, could you just like, what is wrong? Like, why is this so hard? But apparently it's very, very difficult. So I'm like, all right, whatever.
Yeah,
But
Andrea enjoys makeup, so she's probably leaning in, looking at your face right now. So it's And by the way, we did a sound and video check before the show, and I
Mhm.
think at that point in time you had, see, Andrea likes to hack too. Um, but I think you had no makeup on it at that point,
Uh-huh.
correct? And you were still frickin' adorable. So
Oh,
it's
thank you.
I love the huge difference because there is a very big difference from
There
adorable
is. It's
there to
true.
striking now, and you've got this natural
Oh,
glow and
thank
smile all
you.
the time. You're a beautiful person. That's all there is to it.
Oh,
So
thanks.
yeah. Yeah. It's, I
That
want
was
to.
that was my mom look. I
What?
don't even think I was wearing a bra.
Uh,
Like I was like out of bed,
there are certain
hair
people,
all up.
and they don't have to have the perfect figure or the perfect posture or the right smile. They have a comfort with themselves, a confidence.
It's true. Yeah.
As broken as all of us are when it comes to confidence, and we all have confidence issues, every single one of us. But there are some people that just, they're relaxed and natural, and there's a beauty that comes through male, female, totally non-sexual, non-romantic, but you look at them and you go,
Yeah.
God, nice. Good job being
There
you.
really is. There's something a friend of mine posted, and he was like, you only see your own face when you're looking in the mirror,
Hmm.
but you don't see your face when it lights up when you see a baby animal or a baby person too, because they're adorable. But you don't see your face when you are excited about your favorite book. You don't see your face in all these different times. And I was like, that is freaking gorgeous, because it's true. You don't get to see what you look like when you're in your happiest moment.
So, did you write that idea down as a poem?
No,
Huh?
no, my poems are all like about death and tea and
Well,
stuff like that.
that's how you end the whole poem. You don't see your face when, you don't see your face when, but now I see your face as I sip tea and stare into your casket. There's your ending.
Hey, there's an idea. I'll put that one down.
This beautiful love darling poem, and then at the end you're like, but thank God you're dead, you bastard. Whatever works for you.
There might be something there. We'll work with that.
If not, it'll be a story you can give to somebody else and they'll go write it. It's, I want to ask, do you have one of your poems available that you'd like to read?
Sure.
Please feel
Sure.
free. I'll hush until you're
I'll
done.
pull something up.
Yeah. Well, I'll
I
keep
will
rambling till you do that.
oh yeah. Keep rambling a little while I pull
Uh-oh,
it up.
I hear the baby monitor.
Oh, you hear? Oh man.
It's okay. No, no, it's not a trouble. We're in real life here, so we understand. So if you're like, I'll be right back, and you pop away, just mute your mic. That way we don't hear you. I don't know.
Rustling around my house.
But we had one guy who he went into his kitchen and forgot to mute himself, and the ice maker was hugely loud, so much it actually shut down our conversation, and it was
Oh
hilarious.
man. Right.
Everybody in chat was, typing out LOL. Oh my God, this funny as shit. All of us, every time we tried to talk, he'd clank something else, and we were just laughing by the time he got back. So there's
Oh,
a comedy in the honest errors of life if you
it's
can
true.
relax and enjoy how life works or how it breaks. There you go. See, I
Okay,
heard.
so you ready?
Yeah.
All right. So this one's called Belladonna, and it was published in what was it? Spectral Realms
Hmm.
number 8. I
Okay.
think. There. Okay. So Belladonna. So sweet the blackened berry upon the child's lips, and it flows into the bloodstream in poisoned little sips. To drain the cheeks of color and still those eyes of blue will stop the heart of innocence before they even knew. Such pretty little flowers that the devil claims his own, and pretty little berries who take the child home. His mother's screams are muted as a father shakes the boy, but there is nothing left of him save blackberries by a toy.
Hmm.
No, it's so sad.
You have an audience behind you, verbally.
I
I I
can't
think
believe you
she's
can hear
chewing.
her. That's funny. She's in the other room. I'll
Well,
go grab her real quick, though.
yeah, if you need to, absolutely. But yeah, it could be mics are funny what they will pick up and what they will miss.
It's her baby monitor.
Hmm.
It will not pick up the music that
Hmm.
her like teddy bear plays, but it'll pick up her breathing.
Right, it's
It's
cutting out the
really crazy.
highs and keeping the lows or something like that.
Yeah,
So yeah. Okay,
something. It's brilliant. I mean, it was like a cheap thing from like Walmart for like 25 bucks,
there you go.
and still it has that kind of technology. I'm like, this is fabulous. I love this. I will be right back.
I'll be
One
right over
second.
here with Squirrel.
Okay.
So we got Squirrel and Zazzles here. Let me see if I can pivot this around. There's Zazzle. And if you look out there, no, you can't see him. It's a, there we go. Angle that back down. I think I'm in frame. There we go. Oh, so we got Aaliyah and we got Sarge hanging out. Let me go see if there's anybody else. Did Bob show up yet? Bob, are you here? Dropsum is still here. Good to see that. I want a sandwich now. Man,
I want a sandwich
oh,
too.
welcome back. You snuck back. But,
Look at this.
there
Isn't
we
she
go. See, that's exactly what you looked like earlier.
beautiful? Oh yeah.
Yeah, when we did the sound at video check. Hi.
I know, she looks just like me.
So I think you had the same shirt on. You had black and white stripes.
Oh right.
So
Yeah, we're pretty,
important.
we like the black and white.
It's, I've done the whole theme of the tavern in black and white. Makes it nice and simple. Good, clean line.
That's true.
So why goth?
Um,
By
I was
drops.
goth in high school,
Mm-hmm.
mostly because I was just angry.
Okay.
I went through that whole stage for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And a punk stage and all of that. And then I think in high school I started to get into Wicca and all that because I grew up in a very, very Mormon. It was like 98% Mormon town. So just very like controlling. And I just needed something that was very different. I'm a very free spirit kind of
Right.
person. So I just needed something that was freeing. And I found Wicca and I was like, oh, this is beautiful and wonderful. I loved the that it was a creative path and you did
Mm-hmm.
your own thing. And I was like, this is fabulous. So I went with that for a while. And then in college, I studied religion, but I didn't like that there was a stereotype that all goths are into either witchcraft or Satanism or what have you.
Right.
So I was like, well, like I can't stand the stereotype. So I changed my style to be more like free, hippie, beautiful, not
Gotcha.
seriously colorful. I've never been like an incredibly colorful person, but
You added earth
the
tones
dark
on top.
maroons
Yeah.
and yeah, earthy tones. And then I don't know, I had some other kind of styles along the way. And then I got really into steampunk. That was
Mm-hmm.
the time then when we met.
Right.
And I had like casual steampunk, like what it just, sorry, excuse me. It wasn't just costuming. I got into like, I wore steampunk every day. I wore
Right.
these like muted, the browns and the olives and just a little gear necklace that went with it or buttons up the
It's
side or
always
whatever.
adorable
Just
when
really cute
somebody sees
details.
you and they're like, "Oh, have you ever heard of steampunk? Because I think you'd like it."
Like,
Yes, I
yeah,
have.
thanks. I'm good. I'm fully immersed.
By the way, Sarge says, I'm eating Frito pie. What the hell's Frito pie?
What is
Is that
Frito
like
pie?
Fritos as a crust for like a pot pie? How would that be? Could you make a Frito crust for a pot pie? Like a chicken pot? I want a chicken pot pie now, but a good one, not a frozen crappy one. Okay, I am so
I make some
distracted and
really good
hungry
pies.
now. Do you?
What were we talking about? Oh, style.
Yeah, style,
Yes, I
fashion.
went steampunk for a while.
Hmm.
Then when I moved to the South, I had this kind of like really sweet, sundressy, Southern,
But
parasols.
you still did gothy
Oh God,
makeup
that's
with that
empty.
too.
Did I?
Well, some of the keep in mind, I only see the photos that you put up, and I'm not even on Facebook
Oh,
anymore. I
right.
have left Facebook because it's a toxic place, and I just couldn't do it anymore.
It's exhausting.
It
It's
is, and
true.
it burns so
Well,
much
and for the
time too.
steampunk, I had a lot of like I used a lot of coppers and browns. The
Right.
glass is empty. Don't worry. She's
Oh,
not
it's okay.
drinking
Geez,
wine.
you get to clean it up, not me.
Yeah,
I
that's true.
changed her last. It's your turn.
Um, and then I went, where did I go from steampunk? Sorry, Southern.
Hmm.
And then I don't know, went back to goth. And part of it was this like influx of dark poetry that just came in that was about, I mean, like the poem I read was really sad
Right,
about children dying, which a lot of goth is exploring fear.
right.
And Poe said that the saddest thing in the world was the death of a beautiful young woman, and
Hmm.
so that's where he wrote, Annabelle Lee and all of that,
Right.
because he thought that the most melancholy thing in the world was the death of a young woman. For me, the my biggest fear and the worst, most saddest thing in the world would be the death of my children.
Right.
So there's actually a lot of children dying in my books. There's a lot of like children that are ghosts and and I'm just like, goodness, people are gonna think I'm like a psychopath, but
I have
yeah,
read authors that I am dazzled by their writing, and I'm thinking of the one that wrote Red Dragon and Hannibal and Silence of the Lambs.
Ooh.
Have you ever read any of his work?
Um, I read part of Silence of the Lambs, but I had to like return to the library and I never finished it.
Well, Red
Isn't that
Dragon is
awful? That's awful. I'll pick
yeah,
that back up.
there you go. And I want to read a few comments here. I want to interrupt myself and
Okay.
say, Sarge says chili on Frito-Lay's corn chips covered in cheese, sour cream, chopped green onions. It sounds great. Aaliyah says, I'm actually writing a story where a child is taken
Yes.
away. We write similar things, but it's a
Ooh.
novel.
Ooh, awesome.
So, and then
Post
Sarge,
your whatever and I'll connect to you.
yeah, absolutely. Aaliyah, feel free to. And also, if you go down below, you'll see the Discord channel. You can join the Discord channel and then both be in there, and that can allow you to
Yeah.
message back and forth. And but yeah, Aaliyah, definitely put a link
Cool.
in there for us. Sarge says our son is crazy about steampunk RPs and LARPs. A lot of it from time to time between college courses. It's good stuff.
On this whole LARPing thing,
Mhm,
I am getting into the Vampire Masquerade game, the
mhm,
Vampire LARPing.
mhm.
Somebody invited me, and I'm just like, you know what? This sounds so much fun. Like, I'm gonna get over this whole, oh, I'm a super nerd, whatever. It sounds like a freaking blast, and I'm so excited.
Every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night, we go on Andrea's channel and we do tabletop role playing on Twitch.
Oh,
So
wow.
Thursday nights is our steampunk monster hunting game. So it's Scooby Doo meets Cthulhu with a dash of Dresden Files and Supernatural thrown in, and maybe even a little bit of a Hugh Jackman's Van Helsing type feel to it. By the way, I don't know if you do tabletop role playing, but I mention it because we actually need another player or two. Tonight is superheroes, tomorrow is Star Wars, and Thursday is the steampunk monster hunting. So they're all different. Let me do a shout out for Andrea's channel so
So
everybody else
fun.
can follow too. Um, so I throw that at you, and then you could
I
ignore it or
know.
pick it up later and go, "Hey, I'm interested." And of course, your other half is welcome also.
We're wanting to get into the tabletop because my husband will do it. He won't do the LARPing with me,
Hmm.
but he'll do the table. When I came home and told him I was going to do the Vampire Masquerade, he was like, "Can't we start with tabletop? Like, come on, ease me in." I was like, "All right, well." Um, but it's so hard. It's so hard to schedule with the kids.
Well, with us, it would be right on your computer from home, but we do ask for commitment, which is one night a week, the same night
Yeah,
every week from 8 to 11. So it's that easy, but I put it in front of you. You can get back to me if you're interested, you and him.
cool,
So it's
cool.
so Sarge, what is Sarge says rah row raggy. Oh, rah row raggy. I got it.
Oh, Scooby Doo.
Yeah, yeah,
I got
exactly.
it too.
It's
Yay!
yeah, the
Did
super
you see? Did you see the? Do you watch Supernatural?
I have watched up to season 9 and then I got busy.
Oh yeah, there was what was it, season like 6, where the it got awful. They changed like
It was
director or something.
season
Oh
3 where they actually only came out with 16 episodes instead of 21 or 22. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. And then when it came back,
yeah,
it was much more smooth, flowing, natural. They had a little
yeah,
less give a damn, and it improved the show.
yeah. But they had an episode in the newest season,
I think,
where
yeah,
they
season
go into like a Scooby
15.
Doo world.
I've heard about it, and I've thought about skipping ahead and just watching that episode.
It's fantastic.
Good to hear.
It's so funny.
Probably better than the live action movies, which were amusing in their own right. But
Oh,
there's Andrea. Hi,
my
Andrea.
son loves them. So yeah.
It's see, let's see here. So yeah, you're not on. I think you're on
Hi.
Abigail's camera, but not the
Yes, I can
viewers.
see
So
you.
yeah, so this is her view. This is theirs. Um, but yeah, so, can you hear her? Oh, she said hi. So there we go. So do you want to come in? Do you want to come on? Okay, be that way. I don't know how much longer we'll have Abigail anyway. We're coming up on an hour, and her little one has
My little
woken.
one's
So,
awake now.
so yeah. And seriously, Abigail was like wearing a black and white striped tank top when we did the sound check. So it's yeah, they shop at the same store apparently. And now I'm
Well,
trying to
she
think.
hasn't developed her own style yet.
Oh well, yes, you can
So
force
until
yours
she
on her a little bit.
develops her own style, it's it's whatever I want to put her in.
Like the Addams Family, you'll come
But
home,
it's so
she'll have a closet full of pink, and you'll be horrified. No,
cute.
damn it! Exactly.
Aww.
That's how
But
we
look at these curls.
nice.
I love it.
And I like the little pebbles thing on top. I do that to
Yeah, well, it
myself
keeps
once
it
in a
out of
while.
her face.
Yeah.
If not, all her hair just goes into her eyes. And I'm like, okay, well,
Yep. Not
gotta
till her
get that
teen
dealt with.
years, then she can start covering her face with her hair.
Oh, I hope not.
Probably not. It's I am trying to Shanghai her and her husband into considering one of the weeknight games. So we'll see. They do have two kids though, so there'd be at this time. Some of our other players have kids too. That's true. We do. Do you know who Robert Turk is? Gander Snitch the Goblin also does game design. Big in the fairy
Mm.
circles and whatnot. He plays, and you'll see his yeah, you'll see another head pop up over his shoulder once in a while as it peeks at the camera, and um, so anyhow, I did a shout out absolutely. Aaliyah, there you go. Yep, Aaliyah, like the Dune novels. There was a character with that name, and then Sarge, the car DP. That's Sarge. So he's eating Cheetos with chili and green peppers and cheese and not green peppers, green onions. I know. There's gonna have to be some food here soon.
Oh yeah.
Did you say you're going to get food now? Damn it. It better not smell
Leaving you
good.
behind.
I'll be okay. I've got
Oh.
my water. Damn it, it's empty.
That's okay. My wine is gone too.
Is it? What kind of
And
wine
that
did
was
you
the
have?
last bottle. Just a white wine. I don't know, Pinot. I drink really, really cheap, cheap
Do you
wine.
have, do you have, really? I've got no memory today. Hold on a second. Aldi. Do you have Aldi down there? ALDI. It's a grocery store.
No, I
Okay.
don't think so.
I'm going to Google and make sure you do or do not. And the reason is they're a cheap. I say Google. My phone woke up and he's like, "What can I Google for you?" Stop it, creepy. Um,
I love Google. Let me. We have an Alexa, and
uh,
like you can't talk about her and say her name because she's probably like listening. Oh yeah, she's listening right now because I said her name.
all
So
right.
she's like, "What is it you want?"
What can I do for you? Do you? I know you're in. Let me just go with state. I don't want to give out, anything more than that. Uh-huh. Let's find out here. See what we got. So it looks like I'm going to rattle off some places in Georgia. They have
Okay.
locations in Warner Robins, Macon, uh, Milledgeville. Milledgeville? Those are their three stores
I
in.
know where Macon is.
Okay,
I
well, they
live
have one there. The reason I
a
mention it
ways.
is, first of all, it's mostly generic type stuff. A lot of off-name brands and whatnot. It's warehouse style. You fill your cart, you got like empty boxes you put stuff in, but it's not huge like Sam's or anything. But they
Okay.
have wine there, and it's Hooting Owl, Night Owl, something with owl in it, and it's $3 a bottle, and it's pretty decent wine. Surprisingly decent. Um, uh,
Sorry, excuse me.
Allergic to cheap wine, are you?
Oh no, no, no. No, no. I'm good with any kind of wine, I
But yeah,
promise.
if you can, or else if you have Wegmans down there, they have $6 bottles of wine that are very good, especially for that price. So,
Yeah. Yeah,
so
Kroger has a $3 bottle of wine that's pretty good. I think you like get used to it
could be.
over time.
if it doesn't cause a headache, I can probably get used to it. But I
Yeah.
remember people would bring over Boone's Farm or that other one that's like Boone's Farm. Um, and oof,
I think there's
yeah,
like a good luck Chuck or good Chuck, good Charlie, something like that. I don't
Upchuck. What?
know. That'd be a terrible name. Terrible. Bad marketing.
Or smart marketing, we're just telling you what you're gonna
Yeah,
get.
yeah, it's true. But
It's
no, I'm into this like vintage crush
mhm,
wine. I don't know. There's only like certain stores I can get it at, but it's super cheap. I buy like the really big bottle,
yeah.
and it's like $7
You don't get the
for a really big
bag
bottle.
yet.
Lasts me like 3 4 days. We do a box every now and then, but you always feel
You
just a
don't. You
little
don't.
like, yeah, I'm buying boxed wine.
You're all grown up
I
now.
really need maybe a different job or something. I don't know.
It's not too
But
bad till you carry the box
boxed
around in a
wine is
brown
not
bag,
that bad.
drinking straight from it.
There you go.
John
I
says,
do bring a flask around. So when I show up to the club, I bring a teacup. I have my own flask, and I have my whiskey in my teacup.
I like it because it's the color of tea, and you have to sip both of them. So
Yep, it's true.
John says
It's
some good
quite
looking.
perfect. It's a little eccentric, bringing a teacup to a club, but that's half the fun.
It's
If you're not having fun with life, like, what's the point?
You're absolutely right. Now let me ask you. Speaking of having fun, we've been having fun for an hour. Do you want to go on, or do you want to take your leave?
I should probably go.
I need a website from you first. What can I type in? Or
Okay.
else if you're there in the chat, you can type it in. Give them a link where everybody can find you and say it out loud too.
Okay. Probably Facebook is the best, honestly. I
Okay.
know. Let
So
me,
you grabbing the link? Okay.
yep, I am grabbing a link. One sec. So it's just facebook.com/author Abigail Wilds.
Okay.
Do you want me to spell it?
Just copy paste it, throw it into the Twitch chat. That way
Oh,
everybody
it
can.
needs a user. I need to have a username.
What? Oh, yes, yes, you do. Give me a
Yeah.
second. I'll put it in for you. Facebook.com/author Abigail Wilds. Check my spelling. Make sure I didn't fat finger anything. Think we're good. There you go. You guys should be able to. Hold on. Apparently it wants
Oh, yep.
HTTP.
Perfect.
Well, let me make it so it's actually clickable now. So there we go. That should be better. There we go. Guys, go check her out.
Perfect.
Sart says we have a small vineyard here in town, and that's where we get our wine. It's really good. I'm
I
in
love that
Virginia,
idea.
and within an hour drive, we probably have a
Mm,
dozen different wineries. So, yeah, I wish we had a dozen different whiskey distilleries instead, and not bourbons, but
that would be nice.
that would
That'd
be
be nice. When I went to Ireland in college for a college trip,
hmm
and we went to the Jameson factory. And
hmm
again, I went to an all Mormon, or I lived in a mostly Mormon community, so there was only one or two other drinkers. At the end of when you go through the distillery, at the end you get a free shot of
hmm
Jameson, and it's fucking delicious. So all of these Mormons gave me and these other two
Oh,
people all
goodness.
of their shots. I'm not sure I've ever been so drunk or so happy in my life.
Ugh,
It was
especially amongst a
fabulous.
busload of Mormons.
Yeah,
I
they were
love
all cool because they were all like anthropology majors, but still that was really nice.
Yeah, you could be
A
like,
lot of
can I get a
non-drinkers.
to-go bag for this?
Yeah. Oh, it was fabulous. And you could have like hot toddies or like um
Have you tried
kinds of Jameson.
their cask mates yet?
I'm sure I have, but we started drinking cheap whiskey
Jameson's
again.
is about the cheapest I go. I'll go without before I get something I don't enjoy the flavor of. So
My husband drinks Canadian Mist.
that's a bourbon based if I'm not mistaken. So
I don't remember. It's really cheap. It's like not the cheapest you can go, but
I want to
it's
say
pretty
that's what
cheap.
my father drank, and he would go through a 1.75 liter in 2 days by himself.
Woo.
Yeah, I come from a long line of either drunks or accomplished alcoholics, one of the two. But
Ooh.
yeah, but Caskmates. So they have them where basically it's aged in stout barrels, so it has the bit heavier caramel coffee notes to it.
Oh,
They now
right.
have some aged in a IPA barrels, and I'm not sure about that because I'm not a big IPA drinker. But
I is that beer?
yeah, it's the light beer that's very crisp and a bit hoppy and whatnot. You see, I
Ooh.
get the same look. If I
Yeah.
drink a beer, I want
What a
something
nasty look.
full and
Just
rich. Well, it's just, see, I don't want that in my mouth look.
yeah.
So
I can do ciders, but I can't do beers.
I can do one cider, or if the cider is not sickly sweet, I can do more than one. But yeah, anything
Yeah.
just too sweet, and I'm just like, ugh,
I don't actually like carbonation. I
no,
don't like the bubbly,
neither does
spiky
Andrea.
feeling in my
Yeah.
throat.
She'll open it up and leave it there in the fridge open for
Right.
3 to 5
A few
hours.
days.
Yeah, if you, yeah,
Or
even
yeah.
soda, she'll do that, and she'll drink
Yeah.
it when it's totally flat.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, if that's what you enjoy, you bought it or I bought it for you, so let it go flat. I don't
So
care.
have that.
I'll tell you a secret. She eats her Doritos. She only wants the cheese, so she licks the cheese off and puts the Dorito down. And when we got together, she's
Really?
like, well, I'm worried you'll think it weird. I'm like, you paid for it. Eat it however you want.
Yeah.
I am. Should I tell him the pizza thing? When she doesn't like the bread on pizza, so she scrapes off the cheese and sauce and eats. And how awesome is it when you get a lasagna and you get that coating of cheese on top? It's like the
Oh.
chicken skin of the pasta world, and you're just like, I just want to tear
Uh-huh.
it off and eat it by itself. So
Uh-huh.
I get what she likes. I get it. Okay, let me cut you loose so you can tend to your
Okay.
family there. Thank you for coming on and
All
hanging
right.
out.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So we broadcast most days a week. If you're ever bored, you can always drop a line going, Travis, are you on air? Can I come on and hang out? And we'll bring you on and kick you out when you're done.
Awesome.
Cool. I'll talk to you
Awesome.
later.
Love it. All right. It was good to see you again.
My pleasure. And I'm going to cut you loose and talk to them for a minute. So thank you again.
Okay.
I'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.